College is worth it, but it's mostly worth it when you finish. 80% of student loan defaults come from students who did not graduate. And so when you peel back the reasons people don't graduate, money is number one, academic readiness is number two, but three is life got in the way. And sometimes those life things get in the way. It can be substance abuse. It can be death of a parent. It can be a mental health condition. It can be an illness. It can be a concussion. And when those unexpected events happen, you should get a do-over. And ultimately, that's what GradGuard's tuition insurance does. And we do it cheap. It's like $106 for $10,000 of coverage. It's really affordable protection.
Right. And then when it comes to parents who are interested in this, is it something that they apply for? Is it something the schools will include? How does it work?
We've tried a couple of different things over the years. I think the best way to buy it is through schools, and we work with over 370 universities to provide it. It's typically a little bit like buying travel insurance. It's integrated in the billing process of a lot of schools. That is the most affordable way to buy it. When we work with schools, the idea is that every student has the opportunity to protect their investment. And when every student is given that opportunity, it spreads the risk adequately. And by spreading the risk, the price gets lower. And that's a really key concept. And one of the things about tuition insurance right now is that the real question is most insurance does not cover COVID. Almost every insurance policy excludes pandemics. Right. Well, one of the great things about GradGuard is we worked closely with Allianz, our underwriter, the world's largest insurance company, to say, the risk that we are taking, we have 370 schools from Purdue to Oklahoma State to Alabama to Oregon, every state pretty much we insure. So we don't have the concentration of risk. We're not just at NYU or just in Boston where there might be a high outbreak. And so as a result of the spread of risk, Allianz is willing and currently providing coverage for students who get sick with COVID to have coverage under our plan. That's a really noteworthy thing. And the only hook is you've got to be able to purchase it before school starts. You can't buy it after the start of school. And so what I tell people is if your school's already started, I can't do anything for you right now, but you should ask your school to offer it because it'll save them money for the next term, which comes up in January.
Yeah, so I pulled this up on your website because I was really curious. Because originally it looked like pandemics or epidemics, as it was stated, those were originally not covered.
That's right.
I understand. But then it looks like several weeks ago, or you could probably go through the timeline in July, or maybe it's June, maybe this is the notice. They then said they would cover COVID. So just to be clear, tuition insurance will cover students who are ill, who test positive, and that interrupts their studies. But when is it not something that is a valid claim? Just to be really clear with that.
To be really clear, two things. One would be this is not business interruption insurance. So if the school sends you home because you have COVID to complete your term, that's not covered. You have to make a complete withdrawal. You don't receive academic credit. You make a complete withdrawal due to be covered. That's covered like any other illness. And I would say the big important piece of this is that insurance is regulated in all 50 states. This is a filed product. It is the policy language excludes pandemics. And what we've worked with and what this language says, and when you purchase a policy, this is delivered to you, but it's also, you still have a 15-day refund policy. So if you want to get your money back and you don't like these terms, you can get your money back. We intend to pay these claims if this happens, right? And it's a business practice. It is a business decision that for current policyholders will apply. Now, we say currently because although we're confident that we have enough insureds to cover this risk, we're not certain, right? Nobody really knows what the conditions are. You start to see Alabama with 600 cases, Arizona State with 450 cases. We are worried, and we may not be able to always offer this in the future. So January comes around. If we've had massive losses due to this, we may not be able to continue it.
If a student is a week or two into their current semester or quarter,
can't help them at this point. It's like buying insurance when the house is on fire. You can't do that. You got to buy insurance prior to the start of the fire, prior to the start of a cruise. I wish we could.
I needed to have you on in July. I needed to have you on in August, man. I waited, but there's those other people.
There's still a lot of schools starting. I think over half the schools are starting next Monday. I mean, the West Coast and some of the big publics, obviously Notre Dame moved earlier. But, I think that this is something nobody's ever heard of. No, I mean, I go to cocktail parties with my friends. It's like nobody, what's tuition insurance, right? And they don't even know what I really do. But I often say, if you talk to other college parents or you talk to college administrators, even though you may not have heard of this, everybody has a story of a family friend who had their son or daughter leave school and they lost that semester's worth of investment. They lost their housing, they lost their academic fees. And sometimes people are saying, well, my son's on scholarship. Well, I don't really need this. I've got a tuition waiver. Well, typically, like at ASU, I spend more on housing and academic fees than I do for even tuition. And so I may not need 100% coverage, but I need some. And then I think about the international students that are paying full cash costs for college, or I think of the out-of-state students that are paying a lot, like I am at UC, University of California. Then you need to be able to buy the coverage you need, which may be more than $10,000. You can buy up to $40,000 of coverage if you need it.